No, human dildo. I'm not old. Nor, and when I say I can cook, I mean that I can cook. You're just a tiny dildo. You're a computer dildo. I miss the 90s because this is what I would do in the 90s. I miss coming to my apartment, my roachy apartment in fucking Schenectady, New York, coming home from that after a night with the band. At this point, I don't drink anymore because I'm just on amphetamine and I'm still so fucking young. I'm just the youngest specimen on here. And I'm coming home and my girlfriend's already cooking dinner and shit because she's been up for 3 days and she's starving now. So she decided now would be a good time to take my bitch and pass the fuck on cooked food. But we would do this every day. I would do this every day. I'd come home, we'd watch Freaks and Geeks if it was on. Then we'd watch, because we were, the neighbor gave us cable. He was a nice motherfucker, just like I'm about to do here to get away from you. And we'd watch that. Then at nighttime, we'd watch, I guess Nick and Nike picked it up. That's what it was. Who always sucked anyway, but they were great in the 90s. No, they were good, actually. But I mean, they were really good in the 90s. We'd watch that. We would watch The Galloping Gourmet. We'd watch a lot of Nick and Night and Food Network. So we'd watch The Galloping Gourmet at nighttime. The other woman who talked, Julia Childs. We would watch Julia Childs. And then we'd flip over at 10 o'clock. I think Alton Brown would come on. God, he was young back then. God, I was young back then. With Alton Brown. And he was the best. And we'd sit through Emerald Lagasse. I don't think we enjoyed it much, but it was like a thing then. Bam! Bam! It was fucking stupid. It was around the time of The Sopranos and like... It was Y2K, baby. It was nothing but Y2K action. And Alton Brown was good because he was like a scientific motherfucker. Like, he was methed out about his cooking. Yeah, I mean, I like French toast. I like the way somebody said something about baking the French toast because he was griddling it. Well, Alton Brown's a master. He already baked it off in the 90s. He showed us how. That's where I got the idea for brown sugar in the eggs, for confectioner sugar, a little sugar, baking the French toast. See what I'm trying to do today? Oh, the 1/4-inch thick bread. Texas toast style bread with your French toast. Yeah. Tonight I'm working with gas station bread and some Nutella and a couple eggs. But if I had them and vanilla extract, from Alton Brown, I learned how to cook a ham properly in the oven. Douse it in Dr. Pepper and brown sugar. Oh, yeah. So it caramelizes on the fucking ham. Oh, God. I told you. Alton Brown was like a fucking MDMA cook. Like, drug cook you'd want at your rave. After the party, we're going to go home and Alton Brown's going to cook us a standing fucking pig roast that was doused in Dr. Pepper and brown sugar. Oh, and we'd watch Jamie Oliver, which I didn't understand. I mean, he was so British, because he was British after all. It was a British TV show about, and so was The Galloping Gourmet, about cooking. And I did not the shit they eat is really fucking weird. And The Galloping Gourmet had no they gave them like little pots and tiny little pans to cook. It was terrible. But that was the 90s. And then I'd flip over and watch a shit ton of Honeymooners, memorize those. And at night, they would run Who's the Boss constantly. They would run the daytime shit. Now, in the 90s, they would run it at night. Because my generation grew up with Who's the Boss, and me and my girl would watch that, and they'd put on Family Ties, Growing Pains, all in one night. This was one night's television program. And then to find out what the fuck was on, you had to flip to the preview channel. And when you go to the preview channel, it was like a TV guide online. And you go there and you'd see Football Mundial come up in the credits. Yeah. Football fucking Mundial. And you'd see like shit you could, and that's how we knew. Boy, I miss those days. We would take pills and stay up all night, and I'd sit there and then I'd come in and I'd dial up with my 28K fucking modem into my IBM Pentium 166 megahertz computer, dial into my mother's accounts online and just speed the fuck out. Go to the drug boards and read about drugs. We would read the trip reports to one another. Oh, I remember this. This was my favorite part about the internet. It was like, yeah, and earlier I would come home and Real Audio just came out, and it was kind of revolutionary because it would let you stream content that was extremely bad quality, but it made it, you could stream now 16 hours. It was a podcast before there was a podcast, and we listened to Real Audio streams right before Winamp came out. It really whips the llama's ass. Remember that? When Winamp came out, that was revolutionary. But we used to listen to the High Times Radio Hour. We'd go to hightimes.com and listen to Callum Francis. That was one of my names I stole from him. But do the High Times Radio Hour. And he would just sound like such a fiend. The way he would do it, he's like, oh, I got some good buds, and I smoked them, and it just wrecked my mind. My mind was wrecked from the fucking herb, and the herb was so good, and the whole world is high. And Callie was just a baby. He was acting like these cats act, And then, when Winamp came out, you were able to download these tiny, tiny, tiny files that were like 3 megabytes a piece of high-quality audio. Ooh. Who's that bitch? Who is that? Morgan Radford? Holy shit, I want to fuck her. What channel is she on? Who is that bitch? Morgan Radford. We gotta fuck her. Holy shit. I want to fuck her right now. Right now. Hi, I'm Morgan Radford. Came all the way out here. Was having dinner with my husband. Is this important? Yeah, dude, I miss the 90s. That's what I miss about the 90s. And the Y2K era, I miss these days. I miss that. It's hard to believe that was 23 fucking years ago. It's impossible to believe that. Lessons in bigotry. Oh, you fucking bitch. That's the only lesson you ever need to learn in bigotry. You fucking bitch. Then I just pull this car around. This fucking bitch. Calm down, Ryan. Calm down, dude. Oh! That's all you hear from time to time in the other room.